Hey, yo, guys, welcome to the Rockiest Podcast. I'm your boy, the PhAnTo, coming at you with my lovely co host,
Krabby Abby.
bringing you the hottest news in esports and gaming today. Abby, how you doing today, girl?
I'm doing good, PhAnTo. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just Gucci.
We are here with episode 2. I'm so excited.
I know, me too. I cannot believe it. I didn't think this was like, this felt like a dream until we actually started doing it. Now it's like, it's awesome.
It's a reality, and I love that for the both of us.
Okay.
All right, we have some big gaming news for this week, probably some of the biggest gaming news of the year, in my opinion. Microsoft bought Activision this past week. They bought it for almost 70 billion with a B
That is a lot of
dollars.
money.
Um, so in this kind of buying situation, Activision, Blizzard, and King were all bought by Microsoft. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I feel like Microsoft is just buying up everybody right now. Like it was Bethesda last year, and now it's Activision. Like they're buying all these titles, and they're just becoming the kingpin of gaming.
For sure, for sure. Um, Phil Spencer is the CEO of Xbox and Microsoft. Um, so he came out with news earlier this week that they are going to be keeping COD on PlayStation. What are your thoughts on that?
So I still think that's a fair thing because there are still a lot of COD players that are on the PlayStations, and plus Call of Duty wasn't exclusive to PlayStation for a long time. They were getting a lot of their content before Xbox. So if they were to take it away from PlayStation, I think personally they would be screwing themselves over.
I agree. I agree. We talked a little bit about um, Microsoft reviving some old games. What kind of games are you hoping that they are reviving?
I really like to see some of the old Call of Duties, like the PS2 ones, the PS3. Maybe I don't know those. Activision. They made the old Tony Hawk games.
Those were some solid games.
The old Tony Hawks. I mean, I was a huge Tony Hawk Underground and Underground 2 fan. Those are my favorites of all time.
Mhm.
Those Man, there's a lot of games Activision made. I can't really think of it off the bat, but I would love to really see some Tony Hawk remakes. Like some of the old ones just reskin.
I agree. I agree. I think it'd be really cool to see a revamped Guitar Hero. What do you think about
I
that?
I totally forgot the Guitar Hero was a thing. Wow,
get
that's
get your guitars out of the closet, everybody. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll.
so. Since we're talking about that, what now that Activision is bought by Microsoft, are you hoping to see maybe Call of Duty do some collaborations with some of Microsoft's bigger titles?
Like what kind of collaborations?
Like, I'm just saying, could you imagine if we ended up getting maybe a Master Chief drop in Warzone or maybe a Gears of War drop?
That would be that'd be very different. I don't know if you could get away with having those bigger game titles collaborate with a game like Call of Duty since it's been around for so long.
I
I
mean,
know a lot of people would be interested in it though.
I know that with like Epic's done a lot of collaborations. I know Call of Duty is doing the collaboration with Attack on Titan right now. They actually have the skin. I believe it's out now, and it's an actual Attack on Titan skin for the character. It has the melee weapon, two special guns. I think it's pretty cool. So I think Call of Duty could
Mhm.
do it for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, yes, I think that it's such a huge thing right now, especially in the gaming community. I think a lot of our Sony players, because I always grew up on Sony, um, they are kind of worried that Microsoft might be coming for Sony, but I think it's great that Phil Spencer kind of put out that um, tweet saying that Call of Duty will be staying with PlayStation and they will be keeping that agreement alive that was already set in place. So I think that's a huge step for Microsoft.
So, and I think the thing is, like, Sony still has their own thing. They have, The Last of Us. They have all of their exclusives. The God of Wars are exclusive. I think Microsoft knows that, like, hey, there's this ground. Like, let Sony keep their thing. Let them do their thing. Microsoft's doing their thing, and then like they're leaving Nintendo alone because Nintendo's doing their own thing.
Mhm.
So I don't see them messing with Sony
Mhm.
or with Nintendo just because they're two huge franchises still. But I don't know. Like it's kind of cool to see Microsoft buying these companies because it's going to help them get more funding for these games in the future. And I know that. Well, it's not that I know, but I was reading something. They were talking about that now that Microsoft bought Call of Duty, well, Activision. They're not going to be putting out games nearly. They're not going to be. I don't think they're going to be doing it every year now. I think they're going to start uh, working on these games, give them like 3 or 4 years between each game now, so they can edit them and touch them up and do kind of like what they did with Halo. So,
Right, right, right. I think that's a huge thing. I think it would be great to see that these games are getting kind of more time put into them and more attention put into them as well.
well, and the biggest thing is with the gaming scene, you got companies like EA who drops a new Madden every year. And it's like you're getting the same game over and over, and they add maybe one or two little tweaks to it, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, it's a new game." It's the same thing.
Right, right, right.
Like most of these games that have ever come out usually need 2 to 3 years before they're at that point of being perfected. Now it seems like.
I completely agree. Another big thing that has happened in the esports and gaming community this week, FaZe Clan has announced that they are adding one new member to the clan, and it's kind of their new project called Phase One.
Ooh,
So I want to talk about it a little bit. They went
okay.
into full detail about how kind of your signing bonus looks like. So what they are promising to their signing player is $1 million in crypto, sponsored by MoonPay. You're also getting a $250,000 Game Fuel sponsorship,
This is
and you
big.
are getting that is a huge, huge sponsorship. And you are also getting a brand new Nissan GTR.
So I don't know which one's sweeter: the fact that you're getting a new GTR, you're catching a $250,000 deal with G Fuel, or the fact that you're catching, what'd you say, it was $1 million for the
$1 million
contract,
in crypto.
and the fact that you're repping out FaZe Clan.
Exactly. I think it's a huge deal. They're obviously going to receive hundreds of thousands of applicants. But they did talk about how their application process kind of goes. They were talking about how they're going to narrow it down to 100 people at first. And then after that, they're going to kind of go through a more intricate interview process. And after that kind of settles down and they make their way through these applicants, they're going to take, I believe, 8 to 10 people to live in a house in LA. And that's where they're going to be creating content for them. That's where they're going to be doing more interviews and stuff like that. And I think that's a great way to kind of narrow down an application that's so big within the country.
Well, and especially the fact is, I mean, if anyone's seen over Twitter the last just couple of days, like Phase One has been a huge subject going on with all of streamers, gamers. I mean, there's other teams talking about like how big this is because Phase every year does that, where they're always like, "Hey, let's recruit a new member every year." But this year it's big because not only are you getting that fat contract, you're getting a Phase name and you're competing with other people. It's like I honestly, yeah, when I was reading that, I was like, man, that would be a sweet freaking deal to get on with FaZe Clan.
I agree. I think it's a great opportunity that other clans should start taking part in to kind of be more diversified and to get new people coming into their clans to create different kind of content that you're not necessarily used to seeing with our normal clans that we have today. Um, so I don't know. I think it's a crazy thing. I cannot wait to see who is chosen. I know that you and I had both applied for it because FaZe Krabby Abby and FaZe PhAnTo. Who wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah, I mean, and not only is FaZe doing that, I saw that 100 Thieves is kind of leaning towards that. They're kind of, I know that Nade Shot actually put out on Twitter talking about what can you bring to the company, like what can you do to make 100 Thieves that much more. And I think teams like G2, Team Liquid, Complexity, Optic Texas, all these big companies that are streamers that have pro teams start recruiting like that. Like start blowing it up. Like FaZe has been doing this for a couple of years now, and like they look where they're at with their rosters. I mean, they're signed with Nissan.
Right.
So the fact that they're like, hey, you know what, bro? If you sign with us, we're gonna give you a free GTR. That by
It's
itself is
crazy.
already big.
It's insane.
And Optic, they've been around for a while. 100 Thieves. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to LA and record with Nade Shot, Courage, all these big platform streamers that are over there with them? G2. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, just get it.
I'm excited to see who they kind of put in their applicant pool and to see. I would just love to see some kind of like smaller streamers to get that opportunity to be like, hey, I'm in this and I want to be able to show you guys that I'm going to be able to do something different for your company. And I think that they should try focusing towards smaller streamers.
Well, and I've started to notice that. So when I first got into streaming, I was like, oh man, dude, I'm never gonna get noticed. I'm never gonna get anything. Blah blah blah. I look at some of these guys that are on these pro teams. These guys aren't like 90, 100,000 followers on Twitch and Twitter. Like they're guys that have maybe like 7, 8,000 followers on Twitter.
Hmm.
And I mean, when you really think about that, you kind of realize that like, hey, we all have this opportunity to do something like that because these dudes that are pro, yes, they are pro.
Hmm.
And shout out to them for getting to that point. Like that's awesome. But back to like you were saying with this whole FaZe thing, you don't have to be some big 400,000 follower to get a bigger advantage. Like if you can bring
Right.
great content, you can make big things happen. Like I feel like you have a shoe in already.
For
So
sure. I agree. So another thing that I had seen come up in the gaming community this week, this is kind of a bigger thing in general because it kind of takes the gaming community into the workforce community, which I think is something that we don't necessarily see a whole lot. So Raven software workers formed a union actually this past week. It is referred to the Game Workers Alliance. So basically, what they are trying to do with this union is they're calling for more equity, diversity, and transparency with decision making throughout Raven software. What are your thoughts on creating a union within the gaming community?
I mean, there's your definite positives and your negatives when it comes to anything being unionized. First off,
Hmm.
um, and I'm taking this. It probably has to do with the whole purchase of from
Yes.
Microsoft, correct?
Yes.
So I'm gonna say I'm like 50-50 on the subject, honestly, just because I totally get it because it was kind of just a big purchase. It wasn't really like a hey, we're just buying one brand. It was like, hey, we're buying all of that. And so, yeah, like I think it's a good idea, unionizing for sure. But also at the same time, like I said, there's the negative parts of union. So I don't know. I mean, like, what's your thoughts on that, Abby?
I think it's very different to see a union in the gaming community. I also think it's a huge step towards kind of merging the gaming community with our workforce because a lot of people, this is their job in real life, and especially working for these bigger companies, gaming companies, that's their full-time job, and you don't really see a lot of unions in the gaming community and with big gaming producers. I believe that it's going to take a different step for workers who are working in this gaming community and for Raven Software. Um, I read that they're actually asking Activision Blizzard to voluntarily recognize the union, and from what I've seen so far, the company has not yet responded, but they are carefully reviewing the request
Yeah.
to kind of see if they would want to represent these workers.
No, and I mean, I think I get it, but with everything that's going on, I think if Microsoft confront a little bit extra towards Ravensoft and be like, hey, you know what? We're not here to take control and like or redo our own thing, but we want to just kind of step it up. And here's a little of this and that. I think that might be a better step, honestly.
I agree. I agree. So now we have some more fun kind of things going on with games. We have stuff to talk about Cyberpunk. We have stuff to talk about Battlefield. What are your thoughts on Cyberpunk right now?
Oh, so we have Cyberpunk update 1.5 coming here soon. And with 1.5, that is talks that there's going to be new game plus, that there's going to be big step ups. There's already the new roadmap for 2022 for Cyberpunk, and they're talking about it having free DLC. And the free DLC, they're talking about like there's going to be a whole other map that they're going to be traveling to, which is
Mhm.
cool because if it's like how they did with The Witcher 3, then it's going to be the game's going to get way bigger, way
Mhm.
bigger, way more customization. They're talking about new skills, new guns, new clothing, new vehicles, new customization features. Yeah, they're talking about they're gonna put barber shops in with the update. They're talking about car customization potentially. There's a lot that is being talked about with Cyberpunk, and I know a lot of people really looked down on CD Projekt Red when it dropped, and
Mhm.
I got it when it came out, and at first I was like, wow, this game is it's a bit rough. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna throw anything bad because I still play it.
Mhm.
Um, it's definitely come a bit of a ways, but I feel like CD Projekt Red definitely has a lot of work. But it's like any really big open world RPG nowadays, though. Like,
Right.
you know, it's like I don't know. I think I think it's got a lot of good stuff coming to it for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, Abby, have you ever played? Did you play Cyberpunk?
I did not, but I've heard very mixed things about it. I have a question for you though. Do you think that Cyberpunk adding in these updates and everything like this, do you think they're kind of going for a more futuristic feel of GTA?
So with that, I think that how do I say this? So Cyberpunk was already kind of doing their own thing with the
Mhm.
futuristic, the being able to switch out body parts with mechanical parts, doing the cars, the guns, the clothing, the hair, the tattoos. I mean, from what it looked like originally, This game looked like it was going to be like a big hitter. It looked like it was going to be one of the best games to drop in a while.
Right.
And I mean, they've done a lot to that game that has changed. I mean, it's great. There's a lot to do. The NPCs, I mean, all the characters are great. You know, they fixed a lot of the pedestrians, so now the NPCs actually react to things. There's just a lot involved with it, but see, I wouldn't put GTA on that same scale because
Okay.
GTA's been doing its own thing. Like if I were to bring up GTA, you know, I would bring something that's closer to it, maybe like an older Saints Row. Saints Row has more of that same base idea gameplay compared
Mhm.
to Cyberpunk was trying to go for its own first person view kind of.
Okay.
So I mean, yes and no.
Okay. You don't think they've crossed over that line into GTA's kind of border?
Oh no, no, because
Okay.
with them, they're still keeping it within the sci-fi
Right.
realm. More like GTA was at first kind of going with their like humorous, cartoon, realistic kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, and they've gone like way up here, so I
Mhm.
can't really say for sure. But yeah, like Cyberpunk's more of a sci-fi. GTA is more of your like weird open world gangster simulator kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. So I heard some stuff about Battlefield that happened
okay.
this past week. They had an XP bot that was in, it was an XP bug that they had just now recently fixed.
Oh
Tell
jeez.
me a little bit about that.
So yeah, so Battlefield 2042, which I just want to state they had a rough launch like Cyberpunk did. We were they were wanting to guarantee us a lot more than what we received on day one, so that was kind of rough at first,
Mhm.
which it happens though. I mean, with every gaming company. With that though, I would say this new mode. It was a zombies mode. And what was happening was, so I don't know. Abby, have you played Battlefield yet?
No, sir.
You have not. So with solo and co-op, you can run Conquest and oh my gosh, Breakthrough. Those are
Mm.
the two big modes. So you can run it in multiplayer, but also if you run it in solo and co-op, you can also XP farm,
Mhm.
but not like XP farm. But you still get XP. You can upgrade your guns, work on your stuff. So it's kind of cool. You can play with your friends and still get the same fill for the XP.
Mhm.
But with the zombies mode, they were talking about how people were XP farming their guns, they were upgrading, they were leveling up. It got to the point it got so bad that they were like, you know what, we're pulling this mode, we're switching it out. There's a gun game mode instead now because people were leveling up so fast and they were XP
Jeez.
loading their guns that they had to pull it. And you know, you see it though. You as gamers, we all see it. Games have it where that happens, where there's a glitch, there's a lag, where something.
Mhm.
So I mean, it happens, and I thought it was kind of funny. Like
It is funny.
Battlefield's like, oh hey, we're gonna guarantee this, and now we got a zombies mode. And now everyone's just maxing out everything,
Right.
and but no, I mean, with that, it sucks because I wish I would have known there was a zombies mode because I'm a big zombie shooter.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a bummer. But and actually, talking about zombies and weird alien things. Abby, I know you had a. I know you played the new Rainbow Six Extraction.
Yes.
So I want to know your feedback on that.
Here's my feedback, plain and
Uh oh.
simple.
Uh oh.
I mean, it's not plain and simple, but it is.
Hey
I've
Ubisoft, just make sure you're hearing this.
I've never played a Tom Clancy's anything game before.
Okay.
Let me be clear with this. So I was excited to try this new game because I've seen Rainbow Six Siege, and I was like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna finally get to play a Tom Clancy game that kind of backpacks off of Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
Wrong.
Oh no.
So I load into the game. I'll take you
Okay.
through my experience with this. I load into the game, do my VR training, that was fine. I load up into multiplayer.
Which,
I'm
by the
like,
way, can you explain this multiplayer real fast for the people who haven't played this yet?
this multiplayer is an extraction based mode where you have you and two other people trying to extract out of the site that you're in that is basically overloaded by aliens.
Okay.
That's your co-op right there. That's your multiplayer. Um so I load into the game and I'm ready to get down and I'm ready to start putting my stuff down, like all of my, what are they called? Like when you put up the
Uh
walls.
oh. She hit a wall. Talking about making fun of Rainbow Six wall. She hit a wall. You're
When you're
burying.
defending, yes. I was ready to start putting up my barriers, ready to get going
Okay.
against another team. Wrong.
Uh oh.
Period. Wrong.
Uh oh.
It is literally just
Uh
you and
oh.
two other people running around in this town. The town that I played in was New York City's police station. I'm running around. I literally have no idea what I'm doing.
Uh oh.
And I'm pissed. There's like certain objectives you have to
Oh no.
complete before you can extract, and you want to get all of them done.
Yeah.
It's basically kind of like a speed run, is what I took
Okay.
from it.
Okay.
You're speed running to get this extraction done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
A lot of things are lacking with it from what I could tell.
Which, by the way,
When
it is earlier. It just got released. I just want
it
that to
is,
be stated.
it is, but a lot of things are lacking. When you first start out, as everybody else is starting out in this game, you have
Okay.
to level up your agent, your operator, whatever you want to call them. Um, it's hard
Okay.
to find medical supplies in this game. I want that to be known. Out of the 20 minutes that I played this game, because I literally played one game of this and got off, I found one med kit. And you can only use that for yourself. So if somebody comes up and grabs it, you're shit out of luck. I want that to be known, and I don't like that because in games I take quite a bit of damage because of the way that I play.
So,
I do have some positives though.
okay.
The graphics are great. It looks great. I like the girl operator. She looks really nice. She's got some blue neon bright hair. I love to see it. The graphics are really good though. The aliens and the way they kind of look, you can tell they put a lot of time into their graphics and the way that this story mode kind of goes. So I do like that. The guns are great. I like the guns. But the thing that's kind of weird about this is you can run this whole extraction with a pistol.
Yeah.
And I'm not into that. For me personally, I like being able to have more of a harder challenge and having to diversify your loadout. Um, I believe I will play this another time.
Oh,
I have a lot to say about this game
I know you
because
got a lot of anger,
this is like truly one of the first games of 2022 that I've taken the time to actually play.
dude.
A game that has
You messaged me on. I just want to state this. She messaged me on Discord, okay, and she told me openly that she did not enjoy this game. That she had these negative reviews right off the bat chat. So I just want you guys to know that this one right here, Ubisoft, she wants you to step it up.
I had high expectations. Okay.
Oh,
I think a great game like Rainbow Six Siege, that game is great. And I've never even played it. I've just watched people play it and it looks so fun. We got to step up the multiplayer in this game. I think it would be really cool to have like a different version in your multiplayer because we have a lot of different multiplayers with different game modes and I think that's what they kind of need to look forward to adding.
okay.
I think it would be cool to have this extraction, you and two other people. I think that's great for small groups of people. I think another great game mode that they could add is having your team of agents and they're backpacking off of Siege. It would be you and your team against the aliens, and we would have to barricade and defend and all of this other stuff. I think that'd be a really great thing because then you would have 10 people playing in a lobby, but your teams are going to be completely different. And you can like switch and whatever you want. I don't know what I want from this game though because I was so utterly disappointed by it.
So I'm gonna come at it from my angle now. Are you ready?
Yes.
And I just, dang it. So with this new extraction that just came out, I look at this and I kind of look at. Let's take a look at Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Let's look at Wildlands and Breakpoint. So they are Ubisoft, Tom Clancy. So with Extraction and Siege, right here, like neck and neck with each other, same operators, same play style. The difference is, like you were saying, so it's 3 people who are playing against what? Aliens, correct?
Lily bots.
Aliens.
Yeah.
So while they're running, you've got your let's see here. You got objectives. You've got, if somebody loses an operator in there, you actually, if you go back in the next time, you have to go rescue that operator and get them back out if you want
Mm-hmm.
them. So on top of that, I liked how they brought back a lot of the operators from Siege to Extraction because I loved using Sledge. I loved like almost all those characters. I want to like Tachanka. I was super excited. So I'm excited to see them. If they hopefully bring more people from Siege over to Extraction, would be great. I feel like they definitely doled the graphics down a little bit just because it definitely doesn't look the same graphics wise as Siege did, because I think Siege had a little more detail compared to this one. The nesting, it was kind of weird, like running around on the, what would you call it, like the goo? It looked like membrane kind of.
Yeah, it's a weird concept, but you
Like,
can shoot it away.
so, and I mean, don't get me wrong though. Like, it's a cool dynamic. Like, it's because Siege brought out. There was a point where they did. I think it was called Extraction.
Mhm.
And I think it was during Halloween a year or two ago, and they kind of did something like this to kind of see what people would think. And I think it was kind of like a teaser for this. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a great thing. But like I was saying, so you got Siege and you got Extraction. It was just like Wildlands and Breakpoint. Wildlands was a great game. Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon. It was great. Everyone was so hyped about it. They loved it. It was its own thing. It was like how Siege did their own thing.
Mhm.
Breakpoint comes out. Breakpoint was like Extraction. Everybody saw it at first and they were like, oh, this will be great. And then they kind of played it and they're like, what is this? Like, you
Mhm.
kind of give us a half of a Wildlands game.
Mhm.
And so I feel like that for you is the same thing as what we're getting out of Extraction currently compared to Siege. But I like the
Mhm.
idea that they still have the barriers. I like how they
Mhm.
have that you can sneak up and you can stealth kill.
Mhm.
I like how with operators, if an operator gets hit while they're playing, you have to go to a different operator.
Mhm.
It's a great. I think it's a great concept. I liked it. I mean, I still think they have a lot to do with it. I'm a huge Tom Clancy. I've been playing Tom Clancy since I was younger. And that was when Abby was still in diapers, probably. But
No comment. No comment.
no comment. But so I mean, I appreciate it, but I'm wanting to see what else they're gonna do. And so I'm gonna ask you something.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about games, and I should have asked it earlier, but I'm gonna ask it now. Talk about games that are collaborating, and we've been playing this together. Actually, we've been streaming this a lot. Fortnite.
Yeah.
What do you think of Fortnite with their collaborations they've been doing?
I love them. I love little
Because
Tom Holland being in there.
I know they did a Gears of War. They've done Master Chief. They've done Naruto. Now they've.
They
I mean,
have
holy
all
crap!
their icon series. They have all of their
They have the Marvel
like.
series,
They have the Marvel series. They have what we have
Batman,
Ariana
Superman.
Grande. We have Ariana Grande. We have Marshmello. We have Travis Scott. We have a
We have
plethora of.
Ninja.
The Icon series is great. I heard they're currently in the works for their next Icon. Um, I love their collabs. You can't go wrong with Fortnite. They absolutely top every single in-game event that I've ever seen.
So, and they actually just had an event today. They had their
Yeah, they had their concert.
yeah, they had that. I actually got to do that earlier. That was kind of cool. You got free XP. You got to watch the concert while you were just chilling.
Nice.
Um, so I mean, what would you want to see collaborations in the future? Like, what would you want to see them bring to Fortnite? What would be like your biggest? Like for me, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I know the camera can't see because I have microphones away, bro. If they bring Dragon Ball to Fortnite, I am gonna be.
I don't know. There's a lot of collabs that they could do.
I
Um,
mean, Attack on Titan would be sick. Having giant titans walking around.
right. I agree. I don't know. I think like if we're going kind of based off of like anime cartoon kind of thing, I don't know. I think like a Ben 10 would be really cool cuz you
Yeah,
could Ben 10 would be really cool. I think another one that oh gosh, I don't know. There's just so many different like opportunities for them.
I was
Uh,
I was kind of disappointed they brought Kratos from God of War though, because it didn't really like
they didn't do a whole lot with it.
what about if they did something with actual Halo? Like I know they brought the Master Chief in, but what if they did
Mhm.
something with the Halo franchise? Like you had like AirPods dropping with what are they called, the Covenant, and like they were in like spots, or you know you find Noble Team, if they'll shoot at you, and if you get them, then somehow you unlock an armor set,
Mhm.
or if they just want to drop a Krabby and Fanto cameo. I mean,
You know they could. I'm
I'd be
ready for
down
it.
for it. I mean, I would be so hyped. I'd probably cry.
Epic hit me up with the icon application and I'll apply.
I'm down. But if they do mine, I want it to be like Kung Fu Panda. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. So, as we move further along through this podcast, um, we have some games that we would like to talk about in the
Okay.
Xbox Game Pass. What games are we currently digging right now? What are we excited for?
Do you want me to go
It's all
first?
on me. Yep.
So, I've been a huge Forza fan. So the fact that we got Forza Horizon 5 day one was a big thing for me. Halo Infinite. The fact that we got to play Halo Infinite day one. Um, which also I know we were talking about Battlefields. Maybe talking about doing making theirs free multi.
Yes, because of they don't have enough people playing it, so they're trying to do. They are considering doing a free to play.
But Battlefield had their EA trial, which was cool. So yeah, Halo. Let's see here, Halo, Mass Effect, and the trilogy is on there now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean Forza. There's a lot of great games that are on the Game Pass,
Mhm.
and like I'm always kind of the person that, like, if I beat a game, I'm like, bro, I still got like 800 other games to pick from.
Yeah, I agree.
But and what about you though, Abby?
The games that I'm feeling right now on the Xbox Game Pass, it's a
Yeah,
slight few.
a
Golf with your friends.
slight. Yeah, should have known that was coming.
I love that game.
Yeah, you do.
Work on your precision while golfing with your friends. I love it. The map's amazing. I wish they had more maps. Maybe they'll be coming with maps in the future, so I hope that's a thing. Because they have
Okay.
like 13, I think, right now. I need more. I need more. A battle pass? Hit me up with that, and I'm buying that for real. I love it. But
Oh my lord.
the Xbox Game Pass, I'm fairly new to since I've always been on Sony. So it's taking me a little bit to kind of decipher through what I'm looking for with it and games that I'm excited for. But overall, I am fairly impressed with how many games I can play on there with what it's like $10 a month.
So if you're paying, so I pay for the Ultimate Pass, which you get
Because you
EA
have an
Plus.
Xbox.
Yes, but I mean you get EA Play, Game Pass, you get Gold, and you get the Bethesda. I think the Bethesda Pass that they have now. So you literally get loaded with so many freaking games to play.
Hmm.
Like, so talking about games on consoles. I would ask because I'm wanting to know your opinion.
Okay.
What would be your idea if they ever thought about bringing Valorant to the console?
Absolutely not.
Oh my god!
Absolutely not. That game is meant for mouse and keyboard. It
Dang,
is
that's the
meant for
first.
mouse and keyboard.
That was the first F bomb officially dropped on the Rockiest podcast, people.
It
Just so you
should
guys
not
know.
be a thing. It should not be a thing. And I will stand by that until I die. Valorant does not belong on console.
I mean, I knew that answer was coming. I guess I just wanted the rest of the world to hear it.
It's just it's not a game meant for console,
It's not.
and the dynamics of it are strictly made for mouse and keyboard and for your
Okay.
players. And adding it to console would just completely change it. And if they ever did do that, I would hope and pray that they would not add crossplay because that would be awful. Because when you add to console, you
Yeah.
have to have your aim assist in it. And that's always going to be a thing with console games is you always are going to have your aim assist for your FPS games. You don't have that with your mouse and keyboard. You don't have aim assist on Valorant, and it would just completely change the game, and I would hate to see that game go there.
I just figured I'd offer to ask. I mean, I know that was your answer either way, but
I love that game though. It's such a great game. They just included their new agent, Neon. I love her. She's great. Her movement is fantastic, and she's definitely a fragging kind of agent, and you have to be quick with her. It changes the game, and I love it.
oh my gosh.
So we are coming to the end to our episode right now.
Okay.
Before we head out, I do want to shed some light on 300 Horizon. We now have a Minecraft realm for 300 Horizon for all of you Minecraft players.
Booyah.
PhAnTo and I have tried to play Minecraft together, and the universe is literally against us. I love that for us. It's
I
horrible.
don't.
But in case you guys do play Minecraft, make sure you guys go and check out 300horizon.com because that is where it's currently being posted, that we do have our Minecraft realm. We also do have links in our Discord, so make sure that you guys are joining that as well.
Also, make sure you guys are checking out the fire merch that we have with 300H. The new windbreakers are freaking, oh my gosh.
Yes. We have actually a new launch coming soon with limited edition merch. And I'm very excited to see what it looks like. I'm going to try and snag one off the site, but it is very limited supply. And I've heard it looks sick, so be ready for that. All of this information can be found on 300horizon.com, which is our main website, so make sure you guys go and check it out.
And the links will be down in the bio on YouTube. So you guys can go and access the website for there. And like I said, this is being brought to you guys by 300 Horizon, by the way. Shout out to them. They're a great company to work for. I enjoy making content for them. I enjoy getting to work with the Miss Krabby Abby and all of our wonderful people there: Ace, Cloudy, Seacat, Logic, Noisy, Blaze, all of our guys, Donut, Banks. I mean, everybody who is in 300H. I just want to give you guys a shout out. You guys keep up what you're doing. Our teams are doing good right now. Our Call of Duty team, our Fortnite team, our Halo team, we have our Rocket League, right?
No,
No, we don't have the Rocket League. Okay, so we are currently. I think we're actually working on that. I believe.
I have no idea. I'm
Throwing
going to
out
be
some
honest
false
with
advertising. Sorry, guys.
you.
Forgive me, but yeah. So I mean, other than that, we're just currently doing our thing. 300H is just working on growing. Make sure you guys follow them on Twitter. Make sure you guys are following them on IG.
Facebook, we have it all.
Make sure you guys are checking out all of our content creators, all of our players. Make sure you guys are following this wonderful human being right here. She's
Thank
always
you.
up. She's uploading constantly.
I am. I try to as well. Make sure that you guys are also following PhAnTo. I appreciate every single one of you guys listening to our podcast week, and make sure that you guys are leaving a review on Spotify. So make sure that you guys are putting your stars in to rate the podcast. But once again, PhAnTo and I both, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate every single one of our listeners, and we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So
And
with that being
with
said,
that, before my bad for cutting you off. If you guys like what you're seeing, by the way, make sure you guys are liking, following, turn on that notification so that every Sunday when there's a new episode being dropped, you guys can come and listen to us talk about gaming and talk about the things that we hate. Well, the things that she hates. But make sure you guys are hitting that notification and make sure that you are following up on what's going on with us in the gaming scenes. And, come check us out when we're doing our lives. Come check out on 300H. Come see the rest of our players when they're going live. And just, yeah, with that, I mean, like she said, we appreciate you guys for being here, for listening. And we hope that, this year 300H takes off and that we get to take off and that we get to just have fun with this whole organization. So,
for sure. And with that being said, PhAnTo and I are out, and we will see you next Sunday.
for episode 3.
Episode 3. Bye, guys.
Later. And by the way, shout out to 300. We love you. Deuces.
Bye.